The SCP Foundation contains entities that defy the laws of physics. Given that there are more than 5,000 SCPs in the wiki, the agency's vow to contain all these anomalies certainly sounds like a serious task. But what would happen if all these SCPs somehow breached containment simultaneously? Would the Foundation manage to recontain them? And most importantly, would humanity survive? In this SCP Exploration episode, we try to answer this question. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel with notifications on, so you don't miss any of our upcoming SCP videos, and we plan on exploring more interesting what-if scenarios regarding the Foundation. Before we start listing the damage that all SCPs would deal to us in such a scenario, we will quickly go over how such a scenario can actually occur. We will be looking at two scenarios. The first one is if the Foundation got hacked by the Chaos Insurgency, for example, and this caused all containment chambers to open. Or in other words, if all SCPs that are in active containment, meaning SCPs that would escape if we opened their chamber, breached simultaneously. The second scenario includes the first one, but on top of that, we will also include SCPs that are in passive containment, meaning they can't escape on their own, but whose containments can be sabotaged by an attacker. For this reason, we won't be considering SCPs that can only be activated by the advancement of time. For example, SCP-094, the event horizon that will engulf Earth in a few centuries, and SCP-2317, an SCP that will cause an XK-class event at some point in the future. So without further ado, let's begin exploring. As we said, this scenario only includes SCPs that are in active containment, so in short, monsters that are always aggressive. The first ones that we think of are the classics, SCP-682, 173, 106, and 049. Let's begin with the hard-to-destroy reptile. SCP-682 breaches have occurred before, and the lizard can be recontained without too much difficulties due to its weakness towards hydrochloric acid. The only difference is that this time, the Foundation would be totally overwhelmed by the massive scale breach. This would probably allow SCP-682 the chance to reach a city and begin killing people on a really large scale, by knocking down populated buildings or by attacking public transportation. A truly terrifying scenario that would lead to thousands of casualties before the Foundation can react and recontain the lizard. Next up, let's talk about SCP-173. Given the chaos that would ensue in such a scenario, it is definitely possible that the statue could sneak past the staff and make its way towards a populated area. If, or perhaps when, it tries to enter a city, it will first encounter small groups of people, which will allow the statue to eliminate them without causing panic. But sooner or later, it will become the center of attention, because everyone will want to know how such a weird statue can suddenly appear in public. And it only needs to remain unobserved for a split second in order to begin killing people publicly. At this point, when they see that SCP-173 is deadly, everyone will panic and begin running away, which is the worst possible thing to do. Not realizing how the statue is countered, people would turn their backs towards 173, which in turn will be happy to punish them for this mistake. And this cycle will go on until MTF personnel arrive to recontain the creature, or someone somehow figures out the statue's weakness. So in short, SCP-173 would kill a lot of people, but not nearly as many as SCP-682 would. Next up, we have SCP-049, the plague doctor that will be happy to use this opportune moment to quote-unquote cure as many people as possible. SCP-049 is very intelligent and will be quick to navigate towards a city. Once in public, all the laughs regarding its weird, cosplay-like appearance will be silenced when people see that it possesses an instant death touch. The doctor will also cause a lot of casualties, but in this case, people can at least outrun 049, and once word spreads that one is to stay away from this weird doctor, people will know what to do if they see him. So all in all, not so bad, considering the circumstances. And lastly, we have SCP-106, which will be happy to disappear inside a wall when its containment chamber is deactivated. The old man only needs to find his way towards the ground and disappear into it in order to guarantee that he can reach a public location. SCP-106 is very intelligent, so once inside a city, it will probably want to drag as many people as possible inside its pocket dimension before the recontainment squad comes. And even though the people unfortunate enough to have become a part of SCP-106's Soul-like games certainly won't agree, the old man will probably be the least dangerous of the four, because in general, it kills at a slow pace and enjoys toying with its victims more than it enjoys killing them. And SCP-682, 173, 106 and 049 are just a few examples. There are many more monster SCPs that would escape in such a scenario, far too many to cover in one video. The point is, yes, the damage these anomalies would cause would be devastating, and thousands, maybe even tens of thousands would lose their lives, but with time, the SCP Foundation would recontain these monsters one after another, and humanity will continue. This is because if we think about all the apocalyptic SCPs in the wiki, we realize that they aren't ordinary creatures that want to escape and kill, but are instead devices or phenomena that activate in a different way. So we come to the second scenario. What if a foreign enemy, such as the Chaos Insurgency, not only hacked the Foundation and released all SCPs that can escape, but also sabotaged other passively contained SCPs with the goal of causing as much damage as possible? What would happen then, and would we survive? When we think of dangerous SCPs whose containments can be sabotaged, perhaps the first thing that comes to mind is SCP-610, the Flesh That Hates, an anomaly which we explored in our top 5 apocalyptic SCPs video, is an anomalous skin disease that causes all humans that are infected to undergo horrific mutations and turn into fleshy, non-humanoid creatures. SCP-610's containment is passive, but an organized attack on the SCP site where the disease is quarantined and a spread of contaminated materials can easily allow the Flesh That Hates to cause a global pandemic and infect nearly everyone on Earth. And even though this wouldn't be enough to cause an XK-class event on its own, given the fact that all personnel stationed in underground bunkers would survive, it is certainly a good recipe for destruction. But what if we not only wanted to kill as many people as possible, but also wanted to make sure our planet became totally uninhabitable? Well, with SCP-871, this is nothing but a piece of cake. 871 is a set of anomalous cakes that duplicate if they haven't been eaten in 24 hours. Should an SCP cake breach containment by being brought out into the public, for example, it will begin increasing in numbers exponentially, given the fact that people don't usually eat an entire cake in one day. This will result in an uncontrollable spread, which will render Earth totally uninhabitable in just 80 days. But we don't want to make Earth uninhabitable, we want to destroy it altogether, so let's bring out the biggest creature on the planet, SCP-169. As we know, the Leviathan is an aquatic creature roughly 3,000 miles or around 5,000 kilometers long that is currently dormant. However, if the Chaos Insurgency knows where the Leviathan is located, they can easily wake the creature up using an explosion. Given the creature's size, simply swimming at a slow speed would cause huge tsunamis which would destroy entire cities. Not to mention that the creature could also be amphibious, and in this case we would be in real trouble, because given its size, it can literally stomp everything on the planet in a matter of days. And hiding underground doesn't mean being safe either, because 169 would likely cause severe earthquakes with every step it takes, which could prove strong enough to demolish even the safest underground sites. But surely the Chaos Insurgency can do better than that. And indeed, with SCP-2399, they can. The malfunctioning destroyer is, as its name suggests, an alien spaceship that was likely sent here to destroy our civilization, or at the very least, extract something from it. As we know, the only thing stopping the aliens from coming to Earth is the Foundation's efforts to block all alien messages that order the destroyer what to do, but this can easily be hacked or sabotaged. And given the fact that the aliens have been observed to possess vastly superior technology, if the malfunctioning destroyer breaches and attacks us, we couldn't possibly defend ourselves. So even if, by some miracle, some remote underground bunker survived SCP-169, then the alien spaceship could easily take care of that, if they were ordered to vaporize the entire planet. Alright, our planet is pretty much toast at this point, and the only survivors are the SCP personnel stationed on the moon, and the SCP generation ships, whose goal is to save humanity in such a scenario. But surely we can destroy them as well. And indeed, if the Chaos Insurgency decides to sabotage SCP-319, then this wouldn't be all too difficult. 319 is an area at a different energy state than the rest of reality. If that energy state bubble, contained in SCP-319, escapes, it will expand at the speed of light and alter the energy state of the rest of the universe, which will cause physics to alter as we know it, rendering the universe unstable. The universe itself won't end, but the universe as we know it will. And unfortunately, all of that is contained by a little clockwork mechanism that can easily be disrupted. So even if we somehow survive all SCPs mentioned above, our universe will still be transformed in an unknown way, and this may or may not end humanity. And should this change of physics fail in exterminating humanity, then the Chaos Insurgency can always sabotage SCP-2700. 2700 is a weapon constructed by Nikola Tesla that is capable of causing an inverted Big Bang. And even though the weapon is set to activate in the year 2234, the energy anomaly inside the weapon that will cause this reaction is kept contained by a layer of glass, and if someone broke it, the effect would occur right then and there. This means that if someone broke SCP-2700, then the inverted Big Bang would definitely destroy the entire universe. So as you can see, all the damage that the classic SCP monsters caused in the beginning pales in comparison to what would happen if just a select few anomalies were sabotaged. And these are just a few examples. There are many more, far too many to list in one video. Alright, we get it. If someone wanted to use SCPs to destroy the world, they wouldn't run into all that many difficulties. But there are some SCPs that aren't hostile in nature, that can even help us. So are there any SCPs that can actually help us in such a scenario, maybe even save us? The first one that comes to mind is SCP-2000, an anomaly which we explored in our top 5 useful SCPs video. In short, 2000 is an underground complex that can sustain humans for thousands of years, that can also clone and recreate humans after the danger is no longer present. And SCP-2000 has been used to recreate humanity on more than one occasion after massive security breaches. However, as we stated, SCP-169 could easily collapse underground bunkers, given its immense size. So at this point, the Earth would be in a state of total disrepair. That is, if the malfunctioning destroyer hasn't instantly vaporized it with their advanced technological weapons, of course. Not to mention the reality change that SCP-319 would cause, and SCP-2700's inverted Big Bang, so SCP-2000 couldn't possibly save us. The same would be true about SCP-2237, which is a series of SCP spacecraft in orbits around the Sun, which are equipped with resources to ensure the survival of the human race. even though the spacecraft can reach appropriate exoplanets and terraform them till they're inhabitable. We don't know if this would be possible given SCP-319's effects. And once again, there is no escape from SCP-2700's inverted Big Bang that would destroy everything. So is it certain that humanity and the entire universe would cease to exist in this scenario? Well, not yet, because there is one SCP that can save us. The SCP-001 entry, called 36, consists of a group of 36 individuals that are capable of neutralizing anomalies they come into contact with, and it is implied that they are destined to restore the world if an XK-class event occurs by coming together, which would increase their SCP neutralizing effect exponentially. And even though this is an SCP-001 entry, and as we know, multiple 001 entries exist in order to conceal the real one, there is a 1 in 32 chance that it is the real entry, and if it is, then these 36 individuals would probably come together in this scenario and reverse all SCP's anomalous effects. Well, that was a lot of information, so let's quickly summarize everything. To summarize, hacking the Foundation and releasing all SCP monsters would lead to a lot of casualties, but physical monsters can only deal so much damage, and the Foundation itself uses anomalies and advanced technology in order to achieve containment. So in this scenario, recontainment would be a matter of time and resources. The real killer would be if someone sabotaged a select few of apocalyptic SCPs. This is because if awakened, SCP-169 would destroy all continents with huge tsunamis and likely collapse all underground bunkers, including SCP-2000. If left in the open, SCP-871 would fill the planet with cakes, rendering it uninhabitable, and finally, if the malfunctioning destroyer is ordered to destroy our planet, the destroyer will arrive from Jupiter and vaporize what is left of our planet. Furthermore, if sabotaged, SCP-319 will permanently alter the laws of physics, and whatever humans are still alive on SCP-2237's generation ships will either be instantly killed by the changes, or their ship's means of travel and sustenance will be rendered useless by the change. And lastly, if someone really wanted to destroy the universe, then they only need to break SCP-2700, because the inverted Big Bang would destroy everything in the observable universe. The only thing that could save us in such a scenario is pure luck, because if 36 turns out to be the real 001 entry, and they somehow neutralize all anomalous effects, like the prophecies suggest, then we could actually survive. So in the end, we are left with a 1 in 32 chance of survival, which, considering the fact that this is the SCP Foundation we are talking about, honestly isn't all that bad. This concludes our video that discusses what would happen if all SCPs escaped. So what do you think? Could we recontain all SCP monsters if they were released? And would 36 save us if someone sabotaged the apocalyptic SCPs? Let us know in the comments below. Please make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy this type of content, as we plan on exploring more interesting hypothetical SCP scenarios in the future. And as always, we will see you in the next video.